Oh, get out of here.
That's
That's okay. That's okay.
Good afternoon. This is Deb Amlen for the New York Times, and welcome back to
Heroes, comedy heroes.
Yeah.
Here's how magicians solve rooms.
Wow.
That's what we're doing.
One of those, Elaine.
Stay
over.
We are going to be feeding Sam sugar and see how much it actually takes for him to win his ability to solve. Right? This is science. We're doing this for science, Sam. Good afternoon. This is Deb Amlen for the New York Times, and welcome back to Crosswords Live for New Solvers. We are here today with my solving buddy, Isaac Aronow. How you doing, Isaac?
Good. Hi, everybody. Happy to be here on this fine and wonderful Monday.
Yes, also known as our intrepid producer, also known as the associate editor for Wordplay, also known now as the host of the brand new Spelling Bee Forum, which will be appearing every day in Wordplay.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. I'm getting the link right now, actually, because, of course, I said I thought ahead and then I didn't, which is classic. But yes, every day at 3 in the morning when the spelling bee turns over, in the stream, in the Wordplay stream, a link will appear to the Spelling Bee Forum.
Magic.
As if by magic.
Right. This is today's.
This is
the first one.
Yes, the very first one. And it's by myself and Doug Manella, who's been diligently posting the grid, the hints and the grid and the comments of Wordplay forever.
Right. For those of you who haven't been playing or are not, in the know as far as discussing Spelling Bee is concerned, we've had a very active thread in the Wordplay daily crossword puzzle comments for a long time. And we've wanted to separate out the Spelling Bee comments and give them their own place to live for a long time, but we did not have enough hands to do it. But now that Isaac's here to save the day, we now have in the Spelling Bee Hive Mind, as they're known, now has its own place to discuss the bee. So if you are a Spelling Bee player and you would like to meet other people who love to talk about the bee, or you need help getting to genius, please check out the daily Spelling Bee Forum on Wordplay. And thank you for doing that, Isaac.
Of course. Thank you, Deb, for giving me the space to do it. But
Prunella9 says, what does it do? And she's obsessed with Spelling Bee.
Yes. So the forum, as Deb described, is a place for everyone to talk about the Spelling Bee, and it can be very intimidating to see the grid and have no idea what it is for the first time. So at the top of every Spelling Bee forum, I've included my glossary that I worked on, and part of it was compiled by Monacat, who is a Times reader and compiled the glossary, and she's been very helpful.
Thank you to Monacat for that.
And please leave comments. I read all of them. And we need to, it's brand new, so we're still working some stuff out. So please leave comments, and maybe I will
tell your friends.
Yes, and I will take your feedback into account and make the Spelling Bee Forum a better place for everybody.
SNL would like to know, is there chat happening outside of here? I'm not quite sure.
Yes, there is chat. There is chat on YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope on Twitter.
Yes. Well, SNL appears to be on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So, and Prunella9 says, most days I get to Genius, get Queen Bee from time to time. Very frustrated. Hold on. I'm very frustrated with Luff is a pet peeve. Yes, Sam Ezersky, please put Luff in the puzzle already.
If only to save me from my grandfather, who has a boat, who had boats for much of his life and loves to talk about how sailing terms are always left out.
Okay. But let's get to the crossword puzzle. That's what we're here for, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are a new solver, this is a stream for you. We are going to be going over the puzzle. The focus is not on finishing the puzzle quickly. The focus is on familiarizing ourselves with the kinds of clues that you will see in a Monday puzzle. They tend to be very straightforward, but once in a while you'll see things where you might not know the answer because you don't really understand what the clue is asking you to do. It might be a matter of that you just don't have the general knowledge for that. It's not in your wheelhouse. But by and large, most of the problems, Isaac, I think that people have with crossword puzzles is that they don't understand or haven't yet learned the rules of how crossword clues are written and what they're asking you to do.
I think that is exactly right.
Okay, so let's get started. This is a crossword puzzle by Tommy Pauly, who is making his debut in the New York Times today. So congratulations, Mr. Pauly. And one thing I noticed right off the bat, Isaac, was that there's a revealer at one across and also connected to the very last across entry in the puzzle.
Yes, which is slightly unusual, but
yeah, normally the revealer would probably be at the end of the thing if going from top to bottom. But, today, one of the things you learn when you do enough crossword puzzles is expect anything.
Yes.
So let's get started. The revealer says, with 68 across, what the trio in this puzzle's clues is trying to promote. Wow, that's interesting. So we have 3 people or things that are trying to promote something, and we have to figure out what that is. Let's see. 9 Bark Outfitters is with us and says 2 down is OPSO, Lhasa OPSO.
Yes.
And that's something I think that's really interesting. When you get started solving, the one thing we encourage people to do is start with the Mondays because they are the most straightforward and solvable, and they get a little trickier as the week goes on. And look for your gimmies, the things that you definitely know, and put those in first. For example, this is a fill in the blank. The fill in the blanks tend to be easier. So if you see Lhasa blank and you even have the word dog in parentheses, what's the first thing that comes to mind, Isaac?
It's going to be Lhasa OPSO.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. SNL says the New York Times. Yes, the official New York dog of the New York Times crossword. Absolutely. Okay, so Eli Darrington is with us and says 5 across is fans.
Enthusiasts. Yes, I like fans.
And 5 down would be feline.
For cat-like.
We've got 2.
That's
nice. Great.
Well
because
done.
that opens up the entire sector for us. If you can fill in a couple of things and check the crossers, you'll have that sector done before you know it.
Oh, here's a great trivia clue. Home of 17 of the 20th highest peaks in the U.S.
Now, so we know it has to be a state in the U.S. It's generally going to be a state.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to know what the home of the 17 of the 20th highest peaks are. It's a 6-letter word starting with A. So what is the only 6-letter state starting with an A as far as you're concerned, Isaac?
It's going to be Alaska.
It is. That was a surprise to me, but it makes sense.
Yes.
And SNL has got Alaska as well. Look at this. We're almost done with this sector. Let's try some of the acrosses.
Yes. 15 across, Israeli airline.
The official airline of the New York Times crossword, because you've got those vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant. The constructors love that because it makes it very much easier to fill the puzzle. So that would be El Al.
Yes, which I think means the sky in Hebrew. I don't know.
That would make sense.
It's something. Yeah. I think Al is sky. I don't know what El is.
Okay. Don't really know. Past the deadline.
It's gonna be late.
That's gonna be late. Yes. And look at this. We've almost got the 2 downs there. Whole lot. That's got to be a slew of things.
Yep. And then post World War II alliance is NATO. And look at us.
We finished a whole section of the New York Times crossword. Go us. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Where else should we go? What's a gimme for you, Isaac, in this puzzle?
What is a gimme for me? 1 of 16 in a chess set is going to be a pawn.
Right.
Which
And, you know, it makes sense because even if you don't play chess, if you know the pieces, and I think it would be reasonable for most people to know that pawns exist in chess. It's really, oh no, you do have the king. I was going to say
Mhm.
it's the only four-letter piece, but it's not. But you do know that there aren't 16 kings in a chess set.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else? Anybody who would like to join us, please feel free to put your guesses in the comments. It's okay if you're not sure. It's okay if you make a mistake. We are learning together, and the point is not really to get everything right away. The point is to learn to love solving and learn to love filling in the answers in the puzzle. Let's see. Oh, and you're right. SNL says Rook also has four letters. So
Mhm.
forget what I said. Don't, and nobody listened to me, really, ever. What else have we got? Pigpen. That would be
Die.
sty, I would
Yes.
imagine. And what else have we got?
Let's see if we can fill out this corner. Maybe. What are the crosses? Cries of pain.
Cries of pain. I
Maybe.
think that's going to be yelps.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
Yelps. 14 across. Epee.
Oh,
The
got it.
the
That's, yes, the official fencing blade of the New York Times Crossword. Nine Bark Outfitters has got that one. Eli Darrington says 37 across is Dino.
37 across is T-Rex, e.g. Yes.
Right. Because what we are looking for in the EG clues is something that the T-Rex would fall into a category of.
Mhm.
So T-Rex, for example, means that it would be in the category of dinosaurs. And because it's abbreviated and it's not Tyrannosaurus Rex, we know we're looking for a shortened or truncated version of dinosaur, and that would be Dino.
Yes.
Let's see. David S. says, may we ask questions? Absolutely. We love questions. As long as they're standards friendly, we will take any. You can ask us anything.
You can ask us anything. We might not answer everything, but please ask us questions.
Well, and we're trying because there are a lot of comments coming in. So we will try to get to you. If we don't call on you, please don't take it personally. We just may have missed it. Feel free to post it again so that we see it. Muero X Salir says 31 is Sam crossing sinus.
Companion of Frodo in Lord of the Rings is Sam.
Sam.
Sam Gamgee. And then 31 down is nasal cavity. Yeah, sinus.
Good.
Excellent.
SNL has an interesting question. Is the EG an indicator for an abbreviation? You know, that's a really good question. Can we go back to that dino?
Yep, we're here.
Oh, there we are. Probably not.
Not on Monday, I would say.
No, and even so, the EG is its own indicator. It indicates that we're looking for a category of something that the T-Rex would fall into. The T-Rex itself was the indicator that it's an abbreviation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me at least.
Okay, David S. wants to know, and this is interesting, does the constructor construct for the day of the week, or does the editor decide what day it runs? I would say 90% the editor decides what day it runs, and 10% the constructor constructs. Like, for example, we have themed puzzles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Sunday. So if the constructor makes a themed puzzle, it's definitely not going to run on the themeless days like Friday and Saturday. Sometimes the difficulty of the puzzle could fall in between days, and the editor will usually work with the constructor to make it definitively a Tuesday puzzle or definitively a Wednesday puzzle. And it's a back and forth process. So there's no one answer for that.
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, and in talking to constructors when I was interviewing them for something, a lot of them will, they like to think, constructors like to think about what day what they want the puzzle to run on, but sometimes the editor will say something different.
Well, and it's also a matter of how many do they have in the inventory. Yeah. So if they're low, if you write a Wednesday puzzle, let's say something that's solidly middle of the week with some misdirection and stuff, but they're very low on Tuesday puzzles, and the theme isn't too hard. They may ease up your clues in the editing to make it fit in a Tuesday puzzle so that they have a Tuesday puzzle to run. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. What else have we got?
Here's another.
Gambit says 35 down is ALS.
35 down. Let me find that. 35 down is Lou Gehrig's disease for short. Yes,
Yep,
ALS.
absolutely. Thank you. You're very welcome, Miss and Ellen David S. Please feel free to ask questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer them and to have fun. And I hope you guys are having fun in the comments. Now, Eli Darrington says 37 down is dim.
37 down. Faint as light. Yep. I liked
absolutely.
it. I like dim for that.
I liked him for that too. Leader of the Israelites across the Red Sea. That would be Charlton Heston.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Moses.
Yeah.
32 down is.
SNL asks, what's the workload split between constructors and editors? That's a great question. Again, there's no real definitive answer. I mean, the constructor makes the puzzle. The editors will work with the constructors on making the clues fairly standardized for a certain day of the week. Occasionally, if a puzzle shows a lot of promise but needs some work, they will work with the constructor, or somebody on the staff will help with the clues, or possibly even refill a little part of it. It's really tough to say because I think it depends largely on the puzzle itself.
Yeah, I think it depends on the puzzle and on the edit, and the edit. It's there's a lot of factors that go into making a grid and then publishing a grid.
And yes, and a lot of work goes into it. So shout out to the constructors and shout out to the editors. Eli Darrington says 32 down, where you happen to be right now, is angst.
Angst, yes, for emotional turmoil.
Yes. Anna Gambit says 50 across is foo.
50.
There's a gimme.
50 across, yes, if I can find it. There it is. Foo.
There you go. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
I mean, honestly, if you read a clue like Rock's blank fighters, your brain is going to fill in the information whether you remember it or not. It's going to dig through the files and pull out foo. Let's see.
44.
Matt SF is with us. Hi, how you doing? SNL is putting some guesses in the comments, but we really appreciate it if you'd put the number of the clue and the direction.
Amuse is going to be for 44 across, which is make a giggle say.
Yep, there you go. And look at that. There's another sector taken care of.
49 across, which we didn't look at, was lines on an urban map, abbreviated for STs, which is streets.
Right. That's another way to indicate abbreviations, obviously, is ABBR. They won't always have that, but if something in the clue is abbreviated, not necessarily EG, but a name or something like that, then you can probably figure that the answer is going to be an abbreviation. Oh, Matt SF says, I read your column every day. Fun seeing you streaming here. Thank you. I'm so glad. We're really glad to have you here. I hope you'll join us every Monday. And David says, this is so cool that you're doing this. Thank you. We love being here and solving with you guys. We hope you'll be here every Monday, and we do one on Thursday for the trickier puzzles, which is my personal favorite day of the week. Eli Darrington says 41 down is rabbi. 41
down. Torah teacher, yes.
Yes, there you go. Love the alliteration there. And come on, is somebody besides Eli put some guesses in the comments?
Well, here's one that I know is first group with the number one Billboard hit alphabetically is going to be ABBA.
Exactly, and Eli has that too. So let's see what else. What do we have up in the northwest?
Northwest, yeah. Let's see if we can fill out this corner a little bit. Oh, over here.
Oh, you know what? Actually, first, and Matt SF says 64 across. Sorry, just jump down to the bottom. Is arts.
Arts,
and sciences, right?
That's one that you'd know if you see blank in sciences. You're gonna.
Yes, absolutely. Right. or the College of Arts and Crafts, which is when I graduated from.
Yes.
Matt SF says 65 across is UCLA.
CLA,
Look at
yes.
you go.
That's where my dad went to law school. Fun fact.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anna Gambit is asking if 67 across is Tess. Yes, absolutely. Tess of the D'Urbervilles.
Yes. Which is definitely
And we have Eli and Dave. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's definitely not one I knew when I solved it. I filled in all the
Okay.
crosses and I was like, oh, I have learned something.
I knew with a literature degree. Okay. David S. and Eli Darrington agree on ABBA. Matt SF says 40 down is Mac.
40 down. Apple Computer for short. Yep. Mac.
There you go. Yeah, and for short, there's another indicator.
Let's take a look at some of these longer ones. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh, that looks like a theme entry to me.
Yes.
It's long.
The first member of the
and
trio.
two, it happens to be in italics. Not
Yes.
all of them are. Some of them will have question marks, but because we're sort of telling a story here, you're probably going to see the theme entries in italics. I don't know why. That's just the way it's done. So the first member of the trio said he'd.
And then we have a 14-letter answer.
Right. And then let's go to the center of the puzzle. The second member of the trio said he'd.
For 15, and then for another 14.
Yeah. The third member said, we don't really know that. All right, but you know what? I'll bet we can fill this in and figure it out.
I bet.
All right. With the power of all of our brains on the internet, I know we can come out. We can do this. David S. says 11 down is Lear.
For unwelcome look. Yep.
Good. Love the way that's clued, by the way. What about, community spirit?
I don't know that one.
Nope.
Oh, leisure boats is yachts.
Okay. I have to just say, leisure boats are yachts. I don't know. Like, to me, a sailboat is a leisure boat. A canoe is a leisure boat. A yacht?
I only know it's yachts because it starts with a Y.
Exactly. I'm just beefing. That's all. All right. So Jay says that 48 down is obsess. I guess we'll get back to the Northwest in a little while because people are picking up speed here.
Obsess for 48 down.
Okay. Nine Bark Outfitters says 17 across is SSNs, like social security numbers, tax IDs. The IDs, short for identification IDs, that's your indicator that it's an abbreviation or an initialism in this case.
Yes.
So IDs, abbreviation in the clue, SSNs, abbreviation in the answer. Matt SF says 19 across is Chewy.
19 across is going to be down here. Full of gristle, say. Yes, Chewy.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt SF says 24 across is ITS. ITS.
The I for what it's worth, yeah.
Yep, for what it's worth, exactly. Now that's a good, can we go back to that one?
Yes.
Go back to that clue there?
Yes.
That's interesting. The FWIW is an abbreviation for what it's worth, and yet it's not an abbreviation in the answer, Isaac.
Yes.
Can we give up and go home?
Sometimes I feel like that, but not today.
Don't answer that. I think, it just goes to show you that rules are rules are rules until they get broken. Occasionally, you will see something that will look confusing to you because you've just been told that if there's an abbreviation in the clue, there's an abbreviation in the answer. However, for what it's worth is a known texting initialism. And what we're asking you for is the I for what it's worth. So just because that FWIW is an abbreviation, remember that what we're actually asking you for is the word that begins with an I, so it's not abbreviated. We have a couple of tips from some of our viewers. Let's read them out. SNL says a good thing to do is read over all the clues and answers after finishing the puzzle to find the crossings.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, because sometimes you can miss some really, really brilliant clues just because you've been filling things in, haphazardly. MS says, another tip, constructors love putting SSNs on the edges so they can get lots of words. Why am I'm sorry, the comments are running off my page.
Mhm.
I have to, starting or ending in S. Oh, okay. David S. does not understand SNL's tip.
Was the
Well, I think this is the one where he says, read over the clues and answers after
Yes.
finishing the puzzles to
Mhm.
find the ones filled in with the crossings.
Mhm.
David S., that's just basically to see the ones that you missed.
Mhm.
Because if you're going at a pretty good clip and you're filling things in, let's say you're doing a lot of acrosses, you might miss some really good stuff, or you might not be able to go back and appreciate the clues for the downs because you filled them in automatically. Let's see.
Let's see if we can
Nine
fit.
Bar Outfitters says 10 down is ethos.
Yes.
Where you happen to be
ethos.
right now.
10 down for community spirit. Yep, which gives us.
And that's a good point. SNL has it is an abbreviation. It's as an abbreviation of it is. Yeah, no, that's true. Valeria Silvestri's with us. That's okay. It's okay to be late, Valeria, as long as you're here. What else have we got here? Isaac, pick one out and solve it for us.
All right. Well, 16 across is 8 at. And
that's very easy to misparse.
Yes.
Those
I was looking at it for a while, so I wanted to say it out loud so that people knew what it said.
Don't say it out loud.
So.
But let's see. What have we got here? Short excursions. I think that's going to be jaunts, just based on the letter pattern.
Yes, I agree with you. Jaunts, and then.
And the thing that I think that is worth remembering is I don't know this just because I didn't even really solve this. This was written up by our Monday through Wednesday columnist Rachel Faby, but I do the crossword puzzle every day, and I've been doing it every day for a long time. Some of these things you just learn to expect, but it comes from practice. It comes from actually solving. So it's one of those things where this is one of those hobbies where you have to do it a lot to get better at it. You agree, Isaac?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, I've been solving puzzles for a long time, and I think I saw, home of 17 of the 20th highest peaks in the U.S., which I might, that's a piece of trivia that I have no idea, but I know that because it starts with A and it's 6 letters. It's got to be Alaska.
Right. Peter Jewett is with us and says 63 across is caped.
Caped for attired like Batman or Superman. Yeah, I like.
Right.
You can try.
But not
there.
the Incredibles because they don't wear capes.
No
apparently.
capes.
No capes. Valeria Silvestri has nicknamed you Isaac the Voice.
The Voice.
Yes, we comment on that. We tell Isaac he has a great voice for FM. He really does.
Yes.
Matt SF says 46 across is nice job.
Yes, for way to go.
Boy, I'll tell you, if you ever, if you're struggling with this puzzle, it's nice to fill in something like that. It's sort of like a little bit of, a pat on the back so far.
Should we? We should. Why is it in quotes, Deb?
That's a very good question. Sometimes you're going to see verbalizations in clues. If something is not a title, but it's in quotes, it means that it's something that someone is saying out loud. So I can't read way to go. Sorry, it's a little small on my screen. If somebody says way to go, you're being asked to find another phrase that somebody would say out loud that means the same thing. So way to go would be almost the same as nice job. Right?
Excellent.
Did I get that right? Do I pass, Isaac?
You passed, Deb. We're all good.
All right. There you go. Got a job for another day. Let's see. Matt SF has 20 across.
Ooh.
Wow. Let's put that in. The first member of the trio said he'd toots his own horn or toot his own horn.
Toot his own horn.
Wow. So toot his own horn is interesting. It's an idiom that means that you are promoting your own stuff. You're complimenting your stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So that's interesting. So why are they doing this again? Let's look at one across again.
68 across. What the trio in this puzzle's clues is trying to
Yeah.
promote. Maybe we can get this off the crossers. We've got a lot in this corner.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So jokey comment, maybe jest.
Jest, yeah.
Yeah. Greek philosopher known for paradoxes is going to be Zeno,
Oh, look at you. You're fancy.
which is a thing I only know from crossword puzzles, by the way.
Okay.
And then twists of lemon or lime. Well,
Zest.
yes. And with J A, and even if I didn't know this, I have JAZ, and really the only word you could fit in here is jazz.
Exactly. And honestly, it's a really good example of why solving together is a good thing. Isaac is there for all of the fancy philosophers, and I'm there for the cocktails. Right? Together.
Teamwork.
Great.
Together we make one good crossword solver.
Exactly. MS says Zeno of Aaliyah. Eli Darrington agrees on jest. Nine Bark Outfitter agrees on jazz. Matt SF says 43 across is hag.
For which, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Very
hag.
good. Good for you. Let's see. What does that one say?
Like a ship or an ocean floor.
Sunk.
Sunk.
You sunk my battleship. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
And then
Commercials from the 60s.
and then I was looking at this and didn't know what it was, but I saw coverings on ears of corn, which I know is husks.
Husks, exactly. So that would have given you sunk also.
Yes.
And Eli agrees with that one too. Feudal sovereign, my liege.
Is that LEI or IE?
I.e.
IE. Thank you, Deb.
I before E except after C.
Yes, I recite the rule in my head and then I still get it
Yes,
wrong.
and then you forget
Yes.
immediately. Let's see. Matt SF says 22 down is night.
22 down.
N-I-G-H-T.
N-I-G-H-T is when to stargaze. Yep.
Wow, look at this. We are almost done.
And
with
then
this.
I love this. 28 across is
Yeah,
sea legs, ability to keep one
Exactly.
balance on a ship. I love this fill. This is such a nice piece of fill.
it really is. Sea legs is very, very, very crunchy.
Yeah.
What else? SNL agrees on sea legs. Matt SF says 25 down is C-SPAN.
25 down is C-SPAN, Network for Watching Congress. Yes.
Okay, good. Is everybody following along so far? I know we're starting to pick up some speed, but if we are not answering a question or you don't understand something, please, there is absolutely no shame in asking a question. We would be happy to go back over everything or explain it further. We just want, the main point of this is to show people who want to get into solving that the puzzle is for everybody. Anyone can do this. All you have to do is learn a couple of rules that the puzzle adheres to, and as soon as you're speaking that language, you will be able to solve right away. Yeah, MS notes that sea legs crossing with yachts is fantastic
Yes.
too.
I like that.
Yeah. Roger Winkleman says nice pace. Okay,
Good.
good.
Okay.
Let's see. Matt SF says 38 across is pull some strings.
Yes.
Oh, I think you've done this puzzle already, Matt.
Pull some
So the
strings.
second member of the trio said he'd pull some strings. Another idiom that means something different than music, right? Somebody. So we have toot his own horn and pull some strings, and they both mean something. As idioms, they both mean something different than what this puzzle is indicating that they mean.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
exactly
come on, let's bring this home.
Yes. 36 across and 30 down. I'm just going to put this S in the middle for ish for sorta,
Oh,
and then S
Now
for
let's
serpentine
talk
letter.
about that. Serpentine letter.
Mhm.
Occasionally in puzzles, you're going to see the letters spelled out because we have a minimum of 3 letters in the crosswords. So if you see something like serpentine letter, they're asking for a letter, but it's going to be spelled out. And in this case, the serpentine letter is S, and it would be spelled out ESS.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Let's see.
Valeria says there's Selma somewhere, but she lost the number. I'll save you, Valeria.
That's okay.
It's 27 down.
That's okay. SNL says 36 across is ish, which I always love
Yep.
seeing in the puzzle.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think.
we have that. Okay, great. What else have we got? Oh, there's Selma.
Yep.
That's the film,
Yep. It's the.
Selma, which I loved.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah. Give me the crossing there at the top. C blank S.
Lead into gender.
Okay. What the clue is asking for there is a prefix that would go before gender. And in this case, the answer is cis, as in cisgender.
Mhm.
So you would have lead in. Sometimes you might see it as beginning of or start to. And it's the same thing with a suffix. You might see follower or end of or something like that. Matt SF says 42 across is arms.
For what sleeves hold. Yep. I like that.
Right?
That's funny. I like that.
It is funny. It can actually mean a few different things. We've got SNL says 26 down is inure.
Yes. And then the crossing there is move stealthily is sneak.
Exactly.
And then org that funds PBS is the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts.
Right. Very good. Okay, let's kill the bottom quarter of this puzzle or third of this puzzle. Okay.
National. I wonder. I don't know who this athlete is. I want to know who this athlete is.
Oh, I know.
You
but
know?
It's probably before your time.
All right.
That would be Gail, Gail, Gail Devers, very famous track Olympic gold medalist.
I'll have to look her up after this because I like the athlete clues. It's fun trivia.
Yeah, I have to say that I'm not a huge sports follower, but honestly, if you are out in the world and you've read stuff, that was another thing that I knew who Gail Devers was, but it was buried so far in my mind that they had to do a microfiche search in the brain to find it, but it was there.
Good.
And that's another good thing that I want to tell people is that you know so much more than you think you do. A lot of people come to me and they say, I can't do crossword puzzles, they're too hard. And that's not necessarily true for a couple of reasons. One is the clues are there to get you to the answer. So even if you are not sure who Gail Devers is, you could solve the crossers and then read the clue again and say, oh, Gail Devers, I'm going to Google her and find out who she was or is. Sorry about that. Gail Devers is very much alive.
Don't rush people, Deb.
Exactly. So, not only that, but even if you had heard of her but didn't remember, that information is in there somewhere. You just have to pull it out. SNL says you need Flojo as an entry. You know what? I wonder if she's been in the puzzle. That's a great combination of letters.
It is. I'm looking. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, T13R is with us and said, I just wanted to say that Sunday's puzzle was remarkable. Well, thank you. That was, I think, Chandy Deitmer's puzzle, and I believe that was her debut.
Yes. That both of those things sound correct to me.
Yes, right. I'll just go with it.
Flojo has appeared twice. She appeared on Sunday,
So,
March 13th, 2005 and September 2nd, 2010.
There you go. So Flojo has been in the puzzle, just not a lot. Roger Winkleman says 58 down is silo.
Silo, large grain container. Yep.
Okay. Eli Darrington agrees with me that slaw is an indispensable part of a barbecue.
Very important. Not my favorite, but you can't have barbecue without it. It's fine.
Right. Nine Bark Outfitter says, I actually know a lot less than I think I do. Well, that's okay too. Let's see.
A piece. It's going to be...
P13R brings up a great point, which I agree with. It's also okay to solve the clues with external help.
Yes.
This is another thing that I totally agree on. Many people will say, I can't solve the puzzle because it's cheating to Google something, or it's cheating to ask a question, or it's cheating to go and ask someone if they know what the answer is. It's not. What is a crossword puzzle, Isaac?
It is a game.
That's right. Is it a test?
No, it's a game and it's supposed to be fun.
Exactly. You listen to Isaac. He knows what he's talking about. I think, yes, and Eli Darrington, vinegar only. Absolutely. Thank you for that. You have to have something to cut the barbecue sauce with.
That's true.
Anyway, I tend to sort of deviate. But yes, please feel free to Google, do anything, because, what's the worst thing that happens? You get the entry and you learn something new.
How
I think
horrible.
that's not even a downside. That's a total upside to me.
What a terrible thing we learn when we solve a puzzle.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I learn something from every puzzle I solve, and
Mhm,
I love it. That's why I keep coming back.
mhm.
Math SF wants to know 66 across is abyss.
66 across chasm. Well, a
Well,
bit.
what do we do, Isaac?
Well, let's check our crossers.
Okay, let's see if that's right.
Risky things for a car to run on. I don't know.
MS Walia, SNL says, "Yup, I give it a good 45, 60 minutes, and then it's all the help I can get." Listen, and that's fine. Just be open to it, or be open to asking for help. There is nothing wrong with that. MS says there's no crossword police that are going to come to your house.
That's
Google
true.
doesn't need to. Lauren Tyler says, sometimes all I need to do is Google one thing and it helps open up a ton of the
Mhm.
puzzle. Great point. Even if you're just Googling that one thing, it gets you over a hump, and all sorts of entries will fall then. SNL says, I start with the names of people and prefer to guess the others.
Mhm.
Good for you. I think that's great. I'm terrible with names, but occasionally I can get them. SNL and Matt SF say 50 down is fumes.
Yes, thank you. And I also have 46 down as wanderers. Is going to be nomads.
Right. And T13R says, I've started to embrace Googling because your own knowledge won't perfectly overlap the creator's knowledge. I've never heard of Gail Devers, for example. You know what? And that's fine. But now you do. And she's a pretty remarkable woman. I mean, she's worth learning about. Valeria Silvestri is a viewer from Italy and says, if it wasn't a game, I wouldn't dare to do it in English. And but you know what, Valeria, you do really well. It's hard when you're solving. I don't know if I could solve an Italian crossword. I mean, first of all, I don't really speak Italian much. But even if you do have a grip on the language, you might not know the cultural references. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could trip you up. But the fact that you show up and try is awesome.
Mhm.
You are lapping everyone who doesn't even try. And Matt SF says 46 down is nomads.
Got that.
Good. Okay, SNL agrees with fumes. Nine Bark Outfitter says, as a rancher, I can tell you 52 down is Angus. Wow, good for you.
Angus. That's very cool.
Yeah. Roger Winkleman says 46 down, agrees with nomads.
Yep. We can fill in 39 down, which is states of southeast of Columbus. It's going to be Ohio U.
Ohio U, which is an interesting pattern. Look at all those vowels.
Yeah, and there's another abbreviation for you. Yeah, it's four.
Yes.
Whoa, yeah, it's 4 vowels. I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Let's see. Okay, we've got one more per part of the trio. Let's take a look at that.
Third member of the trio said she's. I don't know.
I wonder if we can guess that based on we've got toots his own horn, pulls some strings. And
a couple of blanks and a couple of other letters.
Yeah. I think the last word is going to be business, just based on the letter pattern.
It looks like business, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to check our crossers for abyss.
Oh, well, we got fumes and nomads, and I'm feeling much better about it now.
I am too, especially with the two things. Now, I know that down entry there would be ACA.
Yes, signature Obama
legislation.
legislation.
So that's another one. I think, yes, we can be very, very, I think we can agree that abyss would be the right answer.
I think abyss is correct.
I think so too. Let's see. Valeria says Italian crosswords are way more academic than American ones and more boring, honestly. Well, I have to tell you, I think Will Shortz really was the person who lightened crosswords up quite a lot. When he became editor of the New York Times Crossword in 1993, he started including a lot of things that he felt were real life, Coca-Cola, Oreo Clued as the cookie, as opposed to an abbreviation for something having to do with mountaineering. I mean, it was
yeah.
Yeah, it was an uber intellectual puzzle that some people enjoyed, but I know that as a pop culture maven, I could not have solved those puzzles. I am much more comfortable with the ones of today.
Yes, me too.
And of course, we have the indie puzzles who have go even further than,
yeah.
of course, the Gray Lady can. And I think people should try those too, because it's really nice. It's like eating at different restaurants. You get one thing from the New York Times, you can have something totally different from, say, the Incubator or Queer Crosswords or AVCX. Let's see. Okay, so Eli Darrington believes that 53 across is drum up business.
Yes, I was.
Another idiom that means something totally different. So let's see. We have one more letter from the
Revealer.
From the Revealer. What are they all trying to promote?
Well, they've all got instruments in them, right? So we've got.
Would it be Jazz Snow?
Jazz Snow for each.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna.
Kind of riffs.
I think it's gonna be
on the riffs and no.
Just slowly.
Right. Well, a piece that's got to be
each for a jazz show.
So they're trying to promote a jazz show by tooting their own horn, pulling some strings, and drumming up business. Right. So you've got that jazz trio of a horn, the strings, and drums.
I love this theme.
I think that's really cool. Now, let's see. Matt SF believes that 53 down is drab.
Yes, for dull colored.
Right. And who did we have? Who said ropey? Sugata Sridhar says ropey for 54 down.
Crossing Aronow.
We have two more letters.
Yes.
Put in. Now, Matt also says the 55 down is PSAT.
For exam from any 10th grader, for short. Yes.
That's right. Right. They spend most of their life taking the PSAT, from what I remember from when my kids were in high school. Let's see. Drum up business. Yeah. SNL says it's a show business theme.
Yeah.
It is. What they've done is they've taken 3 idioms that mean something totally different, but they all have to do with playing music. And
because they all have instruments in them,
jazz, and they are promoting a jazz show by doing that. Let's see. Sujata says that now this is going to be the last letter. We're going to close the puzzle. We're going to open it up again and just go over the theme one more time. So hang in there with us. That the rational is sane.
We've completed the puzzle.
Yes.
We got it.
Yes. Look at us. We are all so brilliant.
So, and just catching up the crosswords we skipped. 60 across, what a bouquet immense is going to be an aroma. And then 56 down is naked, is bear.
Exactly. That was fun. I really like this one. I hope we see more from Tommy Pauly, who made the crossword.
I really liked this puzzle. I thought this was a lot of fun. And
and it just goes to show you that, for people who solve later in the week where the themes are really, really hard and maybe trickier, they may look at this and say, well, it's very simple. But I want to tell everybody here that it is much, much more difficult to make a good Monday puzzle than it is to make a themeless puzzle. That's a lot of people think that just because it gets harder during the week, that it's easy to make the early week puzzles. It's not, because you have to perfect and first of all, you have to come up with a theme.
Which is
and then you have to come up with a theme that works. And then you have to come up with a theme where the theme entries are symmetrical in terms of letter count, because most of the crossword puzzles are diagonally symmetrical.
That's the hardest part for me is matching the letter counts.
Right. And there's a way to do it. If only you had someone to ask for help, Isaac.
Thank you, Deb.
And then you have to polish out of all of the theme entries you come up with. You have to pick the ones that give you your best shot at filling the grid. Then you have to fill the grid with lots of good stuff, no junk, no obscure references or weird initialisms. And then you have to write the clues, and you have to write them so that they're fairly straightforward. That's a lot. That's a big ask for an early.
It's tough.
Matt wants to know if I I've ever written a crossword puzzle. I've written a few, Matt. Yeah, I actually debuted with the New York Times, and I've been in lots and lots and lots and lots of other places. In fact, I also did a collaboration with the actress Natasha Lyonne last year or 2 years ago.
April 2nd, 2019. I pulled it up on Expert Info.
Look at you.
Deb has had. Deb,
This is why you're here. You are just sharp. You're right on it.
Deb has had 4 puzzles published in the New York Times and many elsewhere.
Yes, and Washington Post. I did the puzzles for Bust magazine for a long time, and I was the one on the original rotation of the American Values Crossword Club, which used to run in the Onion.
I didn't know that actually. That's very cool.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first ones, and that was a ton of fun. When I was done with the New York Times Crossword for the day, I could let my hair down, so to speak, and write something for the Onion. Oh, no, please don't apologize, Matt. That's okay. It's been a while for me. So if you're just getting started now, you would not be familiar with me as a constructor. But anyway, I did want to thank everybody for being here today. This is such a pleasure for us. I hope you had a good time too. We love talking crossword puzzles here. We love answering questions. Let's see. T13R is talking about yesterday's puzzle. I don't have time to read the entire thing, but I'm glad that it was remarkable to you. But I want to thank everybody for being here. Please join us every Monday at 1 p.m. Next week, we have a special guest, and I will let you know who that is as soon as I confirm him.
And Thursdays at 1 p.m. Don't forget.
And Thursdays at 1 p.m. where we do the tricky puzzle of the week. EB Cash says, thank you, Deb and Isaac. This was fun. Enjoy hearing you live. Well, thank you for showing up. We really are happy to have you here. Isaac, thank you for joining me and solving with me. Again, please, if you play Spelling Bee, please stop by the Spelling Bee forum that runs daily on the Wordplay column. If you'd like to talk about that, please stop by Wordplay. If you are looking to meet a whole bunch of people who love to talk about the crossword puzzle and help each other solve. This is Deb Amlen for the New York Times, wishing you a very happy Thursday. I'm sorry, Monday.
We got it this time.